What up, guys? I'm drinking hot cocoa this morning. This is my cup. I have a whole bunch of these. I liked that show, Friends. I mean, I liked it because it was lighthearted and so many episodes that I don't have to watch it. You can kind of guess what's going on. And I didn't have to be consistent, and I didn't have to actually watch it. I could just play it as background noise, and then eventually, over like a 15-year span, I've seen most of it, I think. Who knows? Anyway, so I did do a couple things. Yesterday was kind of nice out, and I'm pretty proud of myself. I noticed that my sons were burning that pile because I guess they have a plan. They want to smash that all down. They want to level it and make it, because it actually, this, like on the other side of the yellow truck, there's a gate, and this right here is actually an alleyway to that gate. This is actually an alleyway. It was a road that went through, and then when we bought the property, we just bought the alleyway, and we're just not having it as an alleyway. We don't want anybody like driving this close to my house. Are you crazy? No way. So, yeah, no, not happening. Anyway, so I noticed that while they were doing that, I shouldn't be walking over here in my slippers. I've trashed these slippers. I've only had them like 2 months, and they're super trashed. I mean, I've practically worn them straight through the bottom, so whatever. Anyway, so they started burning that yesterday, and they've already like scooped up so much and pushed the pile up, pushed the pile up, pushed the pile up. And so then I reached over the fence, grabbed their little broken pitchfork, and I had a bunch of those tumbleweeds that were growing right here. It was like a big pile of that, like you can see that the stuff I threw over hasn't all the way burned. But you could not, yesterday when I was done, it was so many tumbleweeds that you couldn't even see through the fence. It was stacked all the way to the top, and you couldn't even see through the fence. And I like hurried up and came out here, and I just cleaned this whole corner. And let me tell you what, Norma was mad I was throwing all that stuff in the burn pile, but I don't think it's stuff she can eat. And then while I was over there, or like while I was doing that and I was yapping with my son, he gave me that big old round of wood, and then I tried to pick through, because that's a lot of hardwood over there in that pile. They've got 2 different kinds of wood, and I really like the hardwood. I love the twisty stuff, but they cut everything so short that I can't, there's nothing I want, which was horrible. So my son told me that if I just take him around, like just drive him out or whatever, and then if I see something I want, he'll just cut it for me, because they have all these maps and stuff where they're allowed to cut. If I see something, he'll cut it for me, what I want, and then I can just have it like that. And I was like, oh yeah, because I want to hang that snowboard, right? And I was gonna put it on 2 poles, on 2 posts, but then I got to thinking, wouldn't it be cool if I could come up with 2 ski poles, attach them to 2 blocks, put one on each side of this bed, and then hang the snowboard on the ski poles? But I don't know. I've never physically like handled ski poles, so I'm not exactly sure if they're like super flimsy, if they're like, I don't know what they're like. So I have to look at that to see what's going on. And then, man, look how flat my giant purple irises. Like, that's weird. I don't remember it being like that last year. It's pretty cool. It was supposed to rain between 9 and 10. It's like, I don't know, 10:30 or something. Look, I found my gloves that I can touch my screen with. The black ones, not the brown furry thingies that I'm wearing over those. But I can touch my screen now. I was like, oh yeah, I have gloves like that. I know I have lots of pairs. But I had to dig around to find something. Anyway, oh, and I also came up with another cute idea I want to do for over here with this pole. With this post. That way it doesn't look silly. I think, okay, so I found this really old bugle. And it's like super tiny, but it's like metal and old. So, and it has a hole through, you know, the bugle part, you know. So I was just going to put like a screw through that and just screw it onto there. And then all that stuff that I found that I just keep was like 3 summers of garbage that I pull out. And I throw a lot of the stuff away, but some of it I don't necessarily throw away. I just throw it over here on this table thing. But there's a horseshoe. I don't know if you can see it because I can't see what you're seeing. But there's a horseshoe. And then there's that spur thingy that I found. That would be cute to put on that pole. This is like an old lock. I found like, this is like an old lock. And it's pretty much just falling apart. I guess I could hang the old lock on here. See, here's the back. The back part of the lock piece. I dug that out. This is like another chunk of a horseshoe. I wasn't really going to plan on using that for anything. This is like a crank of some kind, which can't really do. I don't know. And that's a chunk of metal. And then this thing, I don't even know. Balloon, Gabrielle, Snubbers, Cleveland, U.S. I don't know. Maybe if I pound it out a little bit, I can utilize it. I don't know. But I was thinking about trying to take some of that old metal stuff, and then like I have a post now that I can just like attach it to, and I think the horseshoe's a good idea. The spur, the bugle, like it's all works perfect with that post. I think that would be a great idea to do. You know, with just the garbage that I find, you know, because that's how it goes. Oh my gosh. And now that while I'm thinking about it too, is, okay, over there, the couple that lived there was an older couple in their 80s. And they passed away like a year or so ago. I don't know. Sometime on my vlog way back when, I've talked about it. Anyway, they're having an estate sale on the 11th of this upcoming month, which I have like literally no money. But I've told all my kids, and I have 2 kids and a son-in-law, so 3 kids. I've told my 3 kids that they're having an estate sale, and the guy that used to own this property, there's only one person that ever owned this property, and it was, I can't remember the guy's name, but him and his wife were an older couple that were in wheelchairs, and they passed away. She passed away, and then he passed away, and then the son lived here and didn't pay the taxes on the house or whatever, and then he ended up passing away. And then the house sat empty for 6-7 years, and then we saw it, and then we drove out here. We liked it, and we bought it. Well, the guy that used to own this place had a riding lawnmower, and he sold it to the guy next door, or the son did. Somebody sold the guy the the lawnmower that used to be on this property for $800 to that guy. Well, then they're having an estate sale, and word around town is that they're selling the lawnmower for $700 or $800. So I've told my kids, I'm like, hey, I want that riding lawnmower. I need it. I know, not for my little tiny spot right here, but for out here, I pay somebody $60 to mow the inside and $40 on the outside. That's crazy. $100? No way. I can't do that no more. After 8 times I've paid for the dang lawnmower. So I want to be over there at the business end of dawn and find out about that lawnmower. And they had a hot tub, and then there used to be like this green fiberglass greenhouse. And one time I mentioned to somebody in this town that I was going to ask them if they were selling it, because they never did anything with it. It was always empty. And I was going to ask them about it. So I asked somebody that knew them, and the person that I particularly asked about literally ran over there and bought the greenhouse. So I'm very careful about who I can talk to, because I don't want that kind of situation to happen again. It was very disappointing. And I don't go in that business because of that anymore. No more. It upset me pretty bad, because I was like, wow, what a betrayal. You know, and he was like in his 80s. His wife had just died, and it just wasn't the appropriate time. That's why I was slowly asking about it, was because I was waiting for an appropriate grieving time. And not only did she get the greenhouse, but she talked him out of his hot tub too. For free. Brand new. They didn't even use it. Crazy. So I'd had to disassociate myself from the whole situation, because I was just getting bad vibes from it. So now there was like a year he passed away, and then there was like a year probate, and there was like a lot of fighting, and people were taking things. It was awful. So I just disassociated myself with it. Now that the son has finally got a handle on the whole situation, him and his wife are going to have an estate sale, and I've never spoke to them. And I only hear bits and pieces from other people, because I don't try to encourage the gossip. So I just pick out bits and pieces, and I just don't ask any questions. And just nod my head, no, like, I don't know anything. Why are you telling me this? That's my motto now. And, but now that they're going to have the estate sale, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to ask him, you know, I'm not trying to manipulate a money thingy or whatever, but I'll pay what the asking price is. And I just think it's crazy that lawnmower is coming up for sale that used to be the one that was on this property that took care of it. It has a bag on it. The bag alone, we looked it up, is worth $500. And the only person that used the lawnmower was the guy that originally owned this house. That man only rode it for maybe a year or two, maybe 4 or 5. Because when we moved here, he couldn't mow his lawn. He would come over and ask my son-in-law, and my son-in-law would go get on the lawnmower and he would do it. So my son-in-law is already familiar with it, and my son-in-law has already worked on it. And, you know, and then I hear about this, and I'm so excited. We got some footsie prints, although I can't really tell because I didn't sweep. And it's gonna rain, so, my stuff needs rain. Should probably pull this plastic off. I don't know. My son said the rosemary wasn't looking that great when he came out here to get some for my food. I like seasoning. Some of my grandkids like it, and some of them don't. Like Ryder, he doesn't like that kind of stuff. And Serenity, it's a 50-50. It's like, it's a hit and miss with her. Oh yeah, it's not looking that great. But Landon, he's more open to trying new things. Look at the Swiss chard. It took a hit. And then this is that celery. I just covered it up because, I don't know, it was looking pretty good. And I'm like, man, I love celery. And I've tried to grow celery a couple times. And this is the closest, this is the furthest I've ever gotten with it. My son also gave me this crazy middle piece of wood, which is helping. None of that's set in. It's just thrown together. It's ideas that I'm having. I'm still missing a good piece. It's just not coming quite together the way I'm like thinking. I'm almost there, but it's just not right there yet. So I have to go look for some wood. Not today, because it's probably going to, I don't think it's going to rain today. But I feel like it's going to rain tomorrow for sure. Because it feels really, I'm in the high desert. And when you can, and I'm from the coast. So I know what moisture in the air feels like. And when you come way up here on the mountain, almost 5,000 feet up, it's way dry. It's very sandy. I mean, you can look at how dry this dirt is. Like, it's not even fun to play golf on it because it's real. When it's a little bit softer in the summertime because I water and it kind of softens the dirt a little bit and smooth. And then when I sweep it, it makes it all smooth. You know, I could set up like a bowling ball thingy too. It's just that bowling balls are heavy and my back can't take something like that. Oh, look, Alan's out working. He's going to cut some of those trees. It's too bad. He's been, over the last couple years I've video, he has like practically annihilated them. Although, I don't know what I'm talking about. This one is not doing good. We've thought about cutting it down a bunch of times. But we cut off a bunch of the bad. We're going to give it another year to see if it can't flourish out and, you know, come back from that. And if it doesn't, then we're just going to take it out and let one of these other ones, probably that back corner one, take its place. Which is not something we really want to do. We'd rather to see it do good than do bad. Man, I hope I get that. Oh, guess what? My daughter is so sweet. Okay, so my daughter she's a summer baby. She was born in June. My son is also a summer baby. He was born in August. Okay, son, August 1990. Daughter, June 1992. Okay, best friends. These two have been best friends. I only had 2 children, and these two have been 2 years apart, buddies all their lives through school, no matter what. Like, she always hung with his friends. It was him and her and their group of friends. They had girls in their group too. Same group of friends. They still have the same group of friends all these years later. Now he's 32, she's 30. And oh yeah, he's cutting. Oh wow, look at that. He's gonna cut that whole chunk off. He must be wanting to get rid of him because he's been slowly whittling away. Oh, anyway, he wanted that new iPhone. It's like yellow and all fancy or whatever. And it was like 6 months ago he mentioned it. You know, that he really, really wanted an iPhone. And he wanted that yellow one, that brand new yellow thing. And yesterday, or no, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. Yeah, day before yesterday. Their dad came to visit. I can't remember what day he was here. A couple days back or a few, I don't remember. But I guess she told him that she had gotten Trevor a present. She showed him and all that kind of stuff. And he said, oh, yeah, he was saying he wanted that. And then that's when I found out about it, because I walked through right when it was going on, she was talking about how she bought Trevor a gift. And then a couple days went by, like she was trying to wait for the right moment where it was just her and him. And then they were like having coffee the other morning, and they were just sitting there at the table or whatever, and she pulls out the iPhone box and slides it across to him, and he looks at it and he opens it up, and it's the exact one that he wanted. It was like she read his mind. And they were just like so happy. So the last 2 days they've just been like all like extra funny to each other, extra, like, I don't know. It's like you can tell the joy in the gift giving. There was no reason, she had no reason to give him a gift other than the fact that that was something that she wanted to do for him, and she knew that it would bring him joy. And I couldn't think of a better person to give him the gift, because he's so joyful about who he got it from. So it's just so sweet, and they've just been so giggly and happy-go-lucky and talking about his phone and looking at new stuff and taking pictures, and it's pretty funny. I asked my son-in-law, I'm like, are you going to get one? And he's like, no, I like my phone. It's like, it was funny though. And my son did need a new phone because his was just a little cheapo Walmart thing. And the screen was like only one corner of the screen he could see out of. So he really couldn't even text anybody. He would just, I don't even know how he used it, because only one corner would light up. And it was just like really bad. And he was going to go buy a phone, but he just, didn't want to spend the money on something he didn't want, and he didn't have the money for the one that he wanted. And, she had time to be able to, luckily, he's a slow mover like me, and she had plenty of time to be able to get him something and be able to afford it, so that was cool. But she gets it, and then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh no, we can buy a lawnmower for $800. And now she's like, oh my gosh, I have no saved up money because I spent it on my brother. So that's the boat we're in. We're like, oh my goodness. So maybe between the four of us, we can all come up with $200. And then whoever needs their money back or whatever, we can just 3 out of, we'll just slowly pay it off until the person who actually wants to own it. Now, I know I want to own it. My daughter wants to own it. My son-in-law wants to own it. So right there, my son, probably not so much. So if we at least get $200 from him, then the 3 of us can pay him back, and then we're still happy with the whole situation. So we'll see. Oh, and I had a guy from YouTube come over and watch one of my videos, and he was all saying, he left a message. It's like on my last video or something, about how, like, something about if I edit or whatever, that I'd probably do better. And I'm like, yeah, it's not happening, because editing means staging or cutting off from something that was all. And you know what? Look, mistakes and all are what makes us feel connected to each other. We do things, or we say things, or, whatever, and it gives us a chance to know each other in a true fashion instead of an edited one. Because an edited one, you're not really getting to know that person. You're just getting to know what they want you to see instead of just the whole thing. I'm a scatterbrained person. I'd rather you know that up front. I'd rather you know that I have ADHD. I would rather be completely honest up front. That way, we have a better connection. And, what happens if one of my subscribers is depressed? or feeling lonely, or, just not feeling good. I would want to know. I would want them to be like, hey, I'm just feeling a little down today, blah, blah. Fine. Let's open up a dialogue. I'm okay with spending time with you on a dialogue and talking and helping you get past that, offering some suggestions. I think it'd be really cool if all of my subscribers all went out and either made a sunset video or a sunrise video to whatever song or their favorite place where they live, their favorite view, 16-second video. That would be so awesome. And then if you came and told me about it, I would so go watch it and leave an encouraging comment and subscribe to your channel, even if you only have one video, because that's sending positivity out. That's sending encouragement out. And that's bringing, it's pushing the negative away and it's bringing the more positive in. And I think that would be like really fun. Plus, it would be really fun because then I would know a tiny thing about you. I would know what kind of music you like. Or, oh my goodness, look at me. I'm such a slacker. How long ago has this hole been here? It's been here for a while. At least he's not adding to it. But that means I'm going to have to find a piece. And that was just not what I'm trying to discourage it. I need to fix it up. Maybe if I cut that, I'm not going to do it this year. But in the spring, maybe if I cut that in half, and then it would be less all the way out, less further out. And maybe I'll use, Nancy has a staple gun I can dig around in her room for and staple that or whatever. I don't know. What were we talking about? I don't even remember anymore. Oh well. Well, I did get that done. I did get 2 new pieces of log, so I have 1 log that I can move over here. I came up with this idea with these baskets right here. I don't like this hay stuff or whatever, these basket things, because the birds come along and they just rip it all apart. But obviously, this is not how it's going to go. It's going to go like this somehow, but I'm going to have to find a different way to attach it, because as soon as I put dirt and make that all heavy, it's going to make it, I might have to like hang a counterweight on the back side. I don't know. But I'm going to work on this idea in the spring. Mostly I'm going to do everything in the spring. Right now it's just like collecting stuff. I'm going to try to save $80 and my first goal is to find or buy, I think it's like $80 is what I paid last year, so it's probably like 90 or 110 now. Another roll of fencing, and I want to change this small fencing out. I want the boys to mow that chunk down. I want to pull that fencing out, leave the post, and then I'm going to hang it a little bit taller of a fence so that it matches my outside fence. And then I'm going to also spend the $50 and get this brown stuff. This is its second winter. I'm so impressed with this stuff, this windbreaker. It looks like those white specks are holes, but it's bird doo-doo. And, but man, it really does block the wind. When in the spring, I like to weed back here because it's like I'm sheltered, so there's no wind. I still get nice sun. So I want to at least work on this side of the yard. And I want to do the front up there too, wall my section in, and then eventually I want to do this whole side. Like it all just looks so nice and put together. Then, it's so hard to find a maintenance man. I've been trying for 3 years. 3 years for a maintenance man. When I lived in Bandon, oh my goodness, I literally could take my slipper off and toss it outside and hit 5 of them. You know, like it's crazy. And every single one of them would be all over each other to do the job for me because I pay good money because I believe that, you know, work, you pay for good work, you get good work. You know, and I save up for that kind of stuff. But I really want like a handyman, like somebody who's like semi-retired that would work like not on Sundays because I have worship on Sundays, and not on Tuesdays because I have to study all day, and then I have Bible study from 7 at night to 9:30, and it's hard enough for me to stay focused. I can't have anything going on that day. Tuesdays, nothing can be happening. Sundays and Tuesdays, well, Sundays afternoon, I'm fine. But no. Anyway, I want to replace this door. Take these, I don't even know what, barn door style looking things off. And I have a door. My original door that was here. It's just that plain white one. I want to put it there. And then I want to tin this. Slate gray with the red tin roof, or the burgundy color red with that slate gray tin. But I also want to put in a couple windows. At least 2 windows. One on the far side, because that's where the sun comes in. And then one on the front side, like maybe that far corner over there. Because I'd rather put in like a closet style shelving type thing in this corner. That's what I would like to do with that, with this building. And I could just do a mural on the side. So I don't have enough space to pull out all my stuff. My easels, my paints, my, I just don't have the space for it. Pulling it, even thinking about pulling it out stresses me out. Like when my daughter comes over and asks me for a color, I'm just like, I can't, I don't need, here, it's over there somewhere in the containers. Like, so you have to go through containers. Because I have like a travel container for when I used to, you know, like go to people's houses and do touch up. Like they might break it. Like one time I had a friend that was building this really nice house, and the person that owned the house had ordered all these tiles from Mexico, and they were hand painted, and they broke the center tile piece. So then I just, you know, pack up my travel go thing, went over there, they replaced the tile with the white tile, and then I just, you know, fixed it. I painted something a little bit different than what they had, and the lady liked it much better because I let her come in and say, okay, what in your mind, what do you want it to look like? And then we just went with her style, which was a little bit better. It was just some buildings and stuff. It looked good. Had a big old church in the background. We took that out and we just made it more, because all those buildings were built at different time, and she wanted it to look like everything was one time frame. So I just changed the style of a few buildings to match. Anyway, I don't even know why we're talking about that. Oh yeah, art. I would like to paint a mural. One of my best friends, Christy, asked me about that. Because everywhere I live, I usually paint a big old mural if there's a shed anywhere near my house. And I thought about that. But until I have an art space, I don't even want to try to get inspired. That's why I use all my inspiration out in my yard. Do everything out here. He's still cutting over there. Crazy. Anyway, this video is probably 1,000,000 hours long. I don't even know how long it is. Let's even hope I hit play. 34 minutes. Oh my goodness, people. We've been yapping way too long. I've been spending all morning with you. Although it's been nice. I like socializing with you. That's what helps me with my depression. I don't really have depression, so I can't really say that it helps me with that. But it keeps me from getting it. Like, my head is going 50 miles an hour. I don't get to stay on any one sad event for more than 30 seconds because I'm already thinking about something else. And if I don't like thinking about something and I want to change my mind, I just instantly, in my head, I use the word peanut butter. I don't even really care for peanut butter. I'm not a big fan of it. I never have been. My mom loved it. I'm not a big fan. I'll eat it, but I'm not happy about it. But if I want to change the subject in my head or wherever that's happening, I literally go to peanut butter. Because in my head, I start having this debate about how peanut butter's all right. Like, and it's been this like mental debate over peanut butter for decades. Absolutely decades. And then as soon as I like, because peanut butter doesn't hold my attention for more than 3 or 4 seconds. But at that point, I've already forgotten what was before that. And then now all I remember is peanut butter. So then I just find something else. I just move on. I start looking around for, oh my gosh. My mind is just hanging out in midair doing nothing. And then I'll like look around and try to find something else to catch my shiny. I look for shiny stuff. All right, we're leaving. I'm going. All right. You guys have a good rest of your day. And I will catch you on the fly.